Local businesses hope to hit sales out of the park during the upcoming baseball season.
That's where we make our money.
Stagnant contract negotiations could mean a swing and a miss.
It's scary, you don't know what's going to happen.
An attempt to declog our roads.
We need to transform how people commute in our state. That much is very, very clear.
But there's a clear divide between urban and rural parts of the state.
People are gravitate to their cars for a reason, and that's for convenience.
Plus, Aurora takes another try at keeping people from living on the streets. Thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Jessica Porter.
Shannon Ogden, glad you're with us tonight. The fate of this year's Major League Baseball season is in limbo tonight. MLB owners and the Players Association cannot come to an agreement about money.
Among those impacted most are the people who rely on the revenue the Rockies bring to downtown Denver.
That's right. Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is live on this tonight. Russell, there is a very real chance here that the regular season games could be canceled.
Yeah, Shannon, on the calendar, opening day is 1 month away, but in reality, it's looking more and more like the season will not start on time, and that could leave Loto businesses on the losing end. At Milk Market, 1 block down from Coors Field,
I'll go check in on those guys.
GM Jake Humphreys says baseball is a huge moneymaker.
So opening day is usually one of our biggest days of the year. Brings in a crowd that fills the entire restaurant up twice over, before and after the game.
So the idea of a lockout this season could hit hard.
Especially our staff. They go in above and beyond to make sure that everyone here has the best experience that they can.
Down the street at Wincoop,
It's scary, you don't know what's going to happen. It can get you at a high top.
server Drake Horner says no baseball means no money.
That's when we make our money. I go to grad school, I pay rent, I need it to pick up. We get a post-game rush, pre-game rush. It's how we save up money for the slow season.
The players just want a little more money.
Broncos insider and former Rockies beat writer Troy Rank says one of the main sticking points in the negotiations is more money for young players.
They want more money for the minimum salary. They want more money for players of 0 to 2 experience, the best players of 0 to 2 experience. They don't think the players should have to wait until really that 5th year to make big money. They want the best young players to get more money sooner because of their career window is short.
Rank says it's also about increasing the salary threshold to encourage big market teams to spend more on good players. Rank says what's at risk? Losing fans over greed.
Can't kill the romance of the game by taking away spring training. That's where you create new fans. That's where you have people take vacations. That's where the interaction occurs, the autographs.
We did go to a lot over the past year.
Fans like Robert would hate to miss the action.
I love getting out of the games. I live nearby, so I hope we can get them started on time and find a resolution. It's a big bummer.
Servers like Drake are hoping a deal gets done quickly.
Absolutely, please help us out.
Troy Rank says the clock is ticking. The players need spring training to prep for the regular season, especially the pitchers. Rank says they need about 3 weeks to prep, which means they need to be on the field by the end of this week. We're live in Lodo tonight. Russell Haythorne, back to you guys.
All right, fingers are crossed. Russell, thank you very much. And we've seen this before. The Rockies were in their infancy when a dispute over money led to the 1994 World Series being canceled and players going on strike for more than 7 months. The 95 season was on the verge of being played with replacement players when then federal judge Sonia Sotomayor issued an injunction effectively bringing that strike to an end. The Washington Post notes that Sotomayor peppered her ruling with baseball analogies and admonished the New York Times editorial board for suggesting she didn't know the game.
Colorado is continuing to show its support for Ukraine. Today, the State House passed a resolution supporting Ukraine as its military continues to hold off Russian advances. The bipartisan bill was sponsored by Republican Patrick Neville and Democrat David Ortiz, who both served in the military.
We must do everything we can, even though we be yet humble and simple state legislators, to support the people of Ukraine and to urge our federal delegation and this administration to do everything that we can to support the Ukrainian people.
While this was mostly a symbolic move, Governor Polis has previously said Colorado is ready to accept Ukrainian refugees. Tomorrow, President Biden will hold his State of the Union address, and the conflict in Ukraine will likely be a big talking point. Coverage begins at 7 tomorrow night, right here on Denver 7, and we'll have 360 in-depth coverage for you tomorrow night at 10, looking at the points on each side and checking and fact-checking along the way.
The United Nations is out with a stark warning today. It says if human-caused factors are not seriously mitigated soon, climate impacts could be irreversible, leading to more fires, more floods, more droughts. And on the same day that report's released, Colorado lawmakers are now considering a bill to get more cars off the road. With that, here's Denver 7 political reporter Megan Lopez.
On the same day, the UN released part 2 of a report warning of the dire consequences of climate change.
Next bill up is House Bill 1138.
Colorado lawmakers debated the state's role in reducing carbon emissions.
To get businesses to do what they can to help get cars off the road for folks who are commuting in other ways, whether that's transit, whether it's bicycling, whether it's walking.
In its original form, House Bill 1138 would have offered tax credits to businesses that provide alternative transportation options for their employees. It would have also required businesses with 100 workers or more to complete an annual survey that talks about how their employees get to and from work each day.
For supporters, this is the right conversation at the right time.
We need to transform how people commute in this. Transportation is the #1 source of greenhouse gas emissions in all of Colorado, and passenger vehicles account for the majority of that.
But opponents say people should have freedom of choice.
People gravitate to their cars for a reason, and that's for convenience.
And they say this bill won't work in rural or mountainous areas where public transit is more difficult to come by.
Really, Coloradoans depend on their cars, and we don't believe it should be up to the state legislature to move people out of cars into other forms of transportation.
The bill was facing a steep road ahead considering the opposition. So in the committee hearing, bill sponsors offered a major rewrite to make the survey optional and to take out the tax credits. Those credits would be left to a second bill that's more bipartisan, House Bill 1026.
They will actually get a refundable tax credit for providing alternative or promoting alternative transportation methods to their employees.
Alternative transportation like ride shares or transit tickets, for instance.
There would be a refundable tax credit of 50% towards their expenses for alternative transportation.
That bill already passed its first committee test earlier this month. Some insist mandates are the only way to make employers comply. Others argue incentives are the best option. In the end, though, both bills work to cut down on Colorado's carbon footprint. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
So the first bill that would have offered tax credits to businesses was voted down. The second bill, this is the one with bipartisan support, is still making its way through the legislature.
Substance abuse treatment centers have seen an increase in demand for services during the pandemic. The problem of late, the current labor shortage is affecting their ability to provide life-saving care. Aspen Ridge Recovery and Harmony Foundation both serve to help people struggling with addiction. They are teaming up to raise awareness about the needs of the entire industry. Harmony's CEO says their organization is smaller, so any counselor leaving is a big deal.
For every counselor that we lose, for if they go somewhere else or if they go into private practice, that's 8 to 10 clients we can't take. Because we need to make sure that we don't want to overwork the counselors we have. We want to continue to provide excellent service and excellent care, so we keep our caseloads around there.
The CEO of Aspen Ridge Recovery says there has always been a higher need for behavioral health services than there are people to provide that care. The pandemic just made that need even greater.
Aurora City Council votes tonight on a proposed camping ban. Now, this would ban camping on public property and allow city officials to sweep those encampments with a 72-hour notice. Mayor Mike Kaufman proposed this law as a way of combating homelessness. And Democratic Councilwoman Allison Coombs says it's just a waste of resources.
If we actually enforce this ordinance, then we're devoting significantly more police and other staff resources, as well as undertaking other costs for the cleanup. And that the only way that that can be done is by taking police away from other job duties.
And she adds that there should be more of a focus on affordable permanent housing. So that council meeting tonight starts at 6:30, and with a newly conservative majority in place, it will almost certainly pass.
Loveland Police Chief Bob Ticer is leaving Colorado to lead the police department in Prescott, Arizona. Ticer and his department have received scrutiny over the past year, mostly in response to the arrest of a 73-year-old woman with dementia. The city is still determining who will fill Ticer's position.
Tonight, you can help people impacted by the Marshall Fire 2 months ago, and you can also hear some great music. There is a virtual benefit concert, all proceeds going directly to the Marshall Fire benefit. Now, you can buy tickets online, marshallfirebenefit.veeps.com. Tickets are $10. You can give more if you'd like. Dave Matthews, Avett Brothers, One Republic's Ryan Tedder, Nathaniel Rateliff among those performing. The stream starts at 7 tonight, and after you buy it, it will be available for 24 hours.
Some firefighting tactics have long-lasting impacts.
We need all the companies involved to be held responsible.
How the state is fighting forever chemicals.
A real walk on the mild side as we finish February, and even warmer temperatures to start the month of March.
Plus, for this Colorado teen, the sky's the limit.